let's say you're in a situation where you're doing a career job, but it's not what your core passion is, but you know that you've got a passion and you're interested in that being your full-time gig. Basically, you want the thing you're passionate about to be able to provide for you as an income. And there's lots and lots of people in that type of situation. So the first thing I'd start with is this: where your passion meets the needs of the world is where magic happens. So where your passion meets the needs of the world, that's where magic happens. Now notice that's quite different from where your passion exists and you do it, magic happens. And it would be great if it was just like that. But where you will really be able to turn your passion into a profession with most ease and flow is where it serves the world. It provides a service that people need that will enhance their life in some way. Does not matter whether you're an accountant, a lawyer, a landscaper, a builder, a life coach, a Reiki specialist, a singer, a dancer. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It does not matter what it is. When your skills, creativity, talent, personality, and passion as a package, because basically any profession that you choose, any business you have is just an expression of you. When that comes along and delivers a flow directly to where the world has a need, that's when things become abundant. That's when you provide a service, there's a demand, the demand is met by your supply, and that's where you're able to turn your passion from something that's like an interest or a hobby into a profession. So obviously that's something that has to be factored in when you think about, how do I take this passion and how do I package it and position it and present it in a way that it can provide for me, right? A profession that can provide for me. Now, before we go down that path, and I just give you a couple of other tips around that, this is something that I've learned for myself, and I think it's really, really important. And I do remember hearing this from Oprah originally in one of her talks, and that is that you know you're onto your real passion when you would do it because you love it, whether you were paid or not. Like it's something that comes to you and through you, and you could not turn it off if you wanted to. It's something that you've got to do because it just is a form of your self-expression. It gives you joy to do it. And when you know you would do it because you love it that much, whether you were paid or not, you really know you're onto something. Okay. And for example, with the work that I do, which is not what I used to originally do, so I've done it for about 8 years now. There came a point when I realized I would just do this whether I was paid or not. And obviously, you know, we want to get paid for our services and we want to get paid for the work that we do, but it's when you love it that much and you can see the world needs it and you have such inner joy in delivering it, that's so, so powerful. And too many people sit idle and stagnant on top of their passions and don't do anything with their passion because they haven't figured out how to make money from it yet. And my advice to you, if you're in that situation, is find a way to express your passion whether you're paid for it or not, and at least get started doing something with it on the path to getting paid for it. If that is something that interests you, you want to turn it into your profession, because your passion, right, is you don't choose your passion chooses you. There's something about it that comes to you, it comes through you, it wants to be born, it wants to be brought to life. It's like a possibility in the ether, and it's connected with you specifically. So when you were born, for some reason you were wired with this, you've connected with it somehow as creativity and passion and ideas and inspiration and curiosity within you. Somewhere along your path, it's kind of come to your awareness. You don't choose to be passionate about something. It's of a different dimension. It's some other aspect of you higher than your mind and your body that says this is something that lights me up. And so to do nothing with it and to suppress it and sit on it and make it stagnant means a part of you is not alive. A part of you is not being expressed. A part of you is left idle. And it's waiting to come to life. And what I've found on the journey that I've been on is that if you give it airtime, you will discover more about it. So if you take your passion and you start to practice it, like painting, art, landscaping, accountancy, online business, marketing, I don't know what it, anything, hypnosis. I'm just trying to think of random examples off the top of my head. Being a baker, being a chef, whatever it is. If you take it and you do something with it just for the fun of it, not to try to make it make money for you and become your profession, but if you just play with it, what happens is this: you start to unfold and discover more about it, and you start to become more proficient at it, and you start to fall in love with it even more, and it fires up this whole other level of yourself. That's when life starts responding to you. That's when the right people with the right ideas, the right books come into your life at the right time, and it all starts to become like an unfolding magic carpet ride where the pieces of the jigsaw start to fall into place that may help you turn it into your profession if you wanted it to become your profession. There are a lot of people who have their passion and their day job is not necessarily something they're super excited about, but they're grateful to have it and they have it as a job, and that's awesome. And then they have their passion on the side. Perfect, that's great. Other people want to make their passion their full-time gig. So it doesn't matter where you're at. But it's important to give life to your passion irrespective of whether it becomes your profession, irrespective of whether you want it to, because it's just a part of you and it wants to be expressed, it wants to be given life to. Now, the next tip I've got for you is if you want to turn your passion into your profession, no matter where you're at, if it's possible for you to, and if it resonates with you, you don't need to put pressure on your passion to provide for you immediately. It's a really big ask when you want to take something that's an interest or a hobby or a dream or a goal that's currently not in play in your life, and to take it from zero to hero, to fully and completely replace your income, provide for you. What ends up happening is that it can put you under a lot of pressure, and it makes you feel differently towards your passion. Your passion starts to become this challenge, right? Now, that's one way you can go about it, and I basically leaped. I completely left my career and I just leaped straight into it. And I will admit it was hard yakka because I had a lot to learn, a lot to discover. And so I made it successful, but at the same time it was quite challenging along the way. And I know lots of people have done that too, and that was their path and that felt right to them. But I also know lots of people who have kept their day jobs, have kept their other career, and have slowly developed their passion into their profession on the side. Night times, getting up early in the morning, running it simultaneously with contract or other flexi work, and also doing their passion job, passion business at the same time, weekends. And what you do is that gives you time, without putting pressure on your passion, for you to kind of play with it and experiment and build it up over time, exploring more about it. Now, in this case, what you're doing is you're using some other form of profession or career, job, vocation, contract, whatever it might be, to provide a means of income. We call that a bridge. Okay, it's a bridge between where you are now and you doing your passion full-time as your profession. I know lots of people that feel like that's not the right thing to do because they're like, oh, well, is that me just copping out on my dream? No, it's not copping out. It's you doing what feels good to you. The more you choose ways to do things that feel good to you and feel resonant with you, the better you'll do, because guess what you're like when you feel good? You're more motivated, you're more alive, you're more curious, you're more motivated. Okay, so you go with what resonates with you. And I've had this conversation with people before in coaching, and some people have said, no, I know 100%, I'm just quitting this work and I'm going to go and I'm going to do it full time, and I don't care if it puts me under pressure financially, I'm going to do it, and I know in my heart it's right for me. So don't ever take someone else's word. You have to go with your inner wisdom and you will know what's right for you. But that's one way you can do it, is you don't have to put pressure on your passion to provide for you. You can have a full-time or a part-time gig that you run that provides you income while you work on whatever your passion project / business might be. The next tip I've got for you is research, explore. Whatever your passion is, if you're like, I don't even know what it would look like as a business because I don't know how to take this thing and make it a monetizable service or product, then you want to just research and explore. So take the topic and just go on like an exciting journey to discover everything you can about what is offered and available in that space for that topic. So you're searching for products and services and what other people do in the world in relation to that topic. Okay, and so what you're doing is you're building ideas, you're just looking with curiosity to see what's going on in the world so that you can start to formulate your own ideas about it. Okay, because ultimately if you want to turn your passion into your paid profession, whatever you offer becomes monetizable, which just simply means you charge people money for it. Okay, and there are lots of different ways that you can package something you do, something you offer, be it a service, an experience, or a product. So many different ways that you can package it up to become a paid service offering to potential clients. Okay, so exploring, researching, I can't sort of overemphasize that point. Quite often people will ask me for advice and I'll be like, okay, so what have you done so far? And I'll be like, nothing, I have no ideas. I'm like, well, Google, because you are in the information age and there's just endless streams of information available to you that will inspire you and open up your mindset, but you've got to start going looking for it yourself. Okay, and you also, side note, want to say this is not to overwhelm me. Like, I don't need to try to take on everything I see. All I'm looking for is, oh, that sounds interesting, or no, that doesn't sound interesting to me. You're just looking for what piques your curiosity. Okay, and all you're doing is you've got a journal and you've got a pen and you're just noting down all the different things that come to you as ideas, the things that look interesting, and you're basically on a giant brainstorming journey. And you might brainstorm for a year. You know, not like saying that you brainstorm for a week. You might brainstorm for a long time. And you might notice what comes to you when you're daydreaming about what you'd like to do, and you might notice you start having dreams about it, and you might notice yourself talking about it with friends and noticing some things you talk about really interest you. So you're just building a picture, and that's part of how we start to figure out, what might I do with this passion where it would meet the needs of the world? That's where magic happens, and it would feel exciting and good to me, and it could be packaged up in a way that I could sell it and make an income from it. Now, 2 more points for you on this video. The second to last point is this. You have to accept at the beginning of this journey of turning your passion to your profession that you won't know everything and you won't have the skills to do everything. And that's just how life is. Because when you go outside what you know and you go into unfamiliar territory, you're about to go into the zone of not knowing what you don't know. And you're going to discover all the things you don't know, and you're going to have moments where you go, I don't know how to do this. I realize I'm missing skills. And guess what you do at that moment? You have 2 options. You learn it or you outsource it. And that's as simple as that. You basically go, I've hit up against something, I want to do this, but I don't know how to start a company, but I don't know how to do a logo, but I don't know how to set up a payment system for this, but I don't know how to advertise myself, but I don't know how to structure this, whatever I'm doing, but I'm missing this technical skill to do this, I need a certification or whatever. You will find the answers when the question arises. When the question comes up, you will Google, and you will find the answer, and you will either choose to upskill yourself or you will outsource it and someone else can do it for you. Okay, so these are the things that happen when we go on the journey. And if I reflect back on the last sort of 7 or 8 years of myself and my husband running our businesses, then we have had to learn a gazillion things. And it's part of it, and if I was really honest, I'd say not all those things were fun to learn. But when your passion is big enough, you will do whatever you need to do to get past those things, and you will take the time to learn the skills or to outsource or whatever it is that you choose to do. And it's just all part of the journey, and it will push you beyond your comfort zone, and that's meant to happen because you're here to grow as a person, okay? The last point I wanted to make, and it's probably the most important, if you want to turn your passion into your profession, you've got to sort your mindset out. If you believe you can do it, you will. If you don't believe you can do it, you won't. And it's as simple as that. So you want to ferret around in your mindset, and you want to look for any limiting beliefs that would say, I can't do it, it's not possible for me, I'm not capable, whatever it is, it's too hard. Note all of those beliefs and you want to do something about it and start to change your mindset. Because if you get the right mindset, you will be unstoppable. And on that note, actually, I've got a webinar called The Unstoppable Mindset, and it's about 10 beliefs for achieving anything in life. So I'm going to put a link to that. It's a free webinar and you can go and watch that. And it goes through those core 10 beliefs that you need if you want to be unstoppable with anything. It's from a lot of experience that I've had for myself and working with clients over the years. And it's a very clear formula. And also I have my Master Your Mind program, which is specifically about identifying your unique limiting beliefs and changing your beliefs so that your mindset is powerfully aligned at all levels to take you in the direction you want to go. Because you can have passion and you can have a plan and you can have a world that needs what you've got. But if you have a blocked up mindset, you get in your own way, right? You get in your own way. We all know what that's like from time to time. So I will put a link to that Unstoppable Mindset webinar for you and a link to the Master Your Mind program in case it interests you. If you do have any questions or comments or anything you want to share, please leave a comment below this vid. If you are here on social media, please give it a thumbs up if this was useful, and definitely do subscribe so that we can stay in touch for more daily inspiration with B, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon.